The fire alarm is currently screaming. The sprinklers have soaked my floorboards, and I am sitting in my car in the rain holding a burner phone that still has a single text message on the screen. My hands won't stop shaking, but I'm going to type this out because if I don't, the adrenaline is going to make my heart actually explode. I'm parked 3 blocks away from my apartment building, and I can see the flashing red and blue lights reflecting off the wet pavement. I know I shouldn't be here. I know I should be driving until I hit a state line, but I need to write this down while the sequence of events is still sharp. Okay, so to explain how we got here, I have to go back to last Tuesday. I was eating a lukewarm turkey club sandwich, the kind with the soggy crusts, and staring at my phone because my bank account was suddenly negative $600. I work in insurance claims, which is exactly as soul-sucking as it sounds, but I'm good at it. I know how to spot a fake claim from a mile away. So when I saw a request come across my desk for a water damage claim on a property I didn't recognize, I flagged it. It was for a basement apartment in a neighborhood that's being gentrified to hell. But the weird part was the claimant's name. It was my own father. My dad has been dead for 4 years. I'm not saying he's a ghost or anything. I'm saying he died of a stroke, and I buried him in a plot in Ohio. But the paperwork had his signature, his shaky, cursive, idiosyncratic J, that he always looped twice. I sat there for 20 minutes just looking at the scan. I should have closed the file. I should have reported it to my manager and gone home to watch mindless reality TV, but instead I started digging. The address was 402B Oakhaven Drive. I took a half day, told my boss I had a migraine, and drove out there. It was one of those brick buildings that always smells like old bleach and wet carpet. I remember the traffic on the way there was a nightmare, just gridlock because a garbage truck had leaked hydraulic fluid all over the main intersection. I just kept thinking about that sandwich. I hadn't even finished the side of chips. Anyway, I get to the building, and the lobby door is propped open with a heavy-duty rock. I didn't go to 402B right away. I went to the super's office, but it was empty. Just a radio playing some talk show where they were arguing about the zoning laws. I walked down the hall and the air felt heavy like it was pressurized. When I reached 402B, the door wasn't locked. It wasn't even fully latched. I pushed it open and the smell hit me. It wasn't rot. It was ozone and cedarwood, exactly like my dad's old workshop. He used to spend weekends making these intricate birdhouses that nobody ever bought. And there he was, sitting at a kitchen table that looked brand new, reading a newspaper. An actual paper, one of those local rags that publishes once a week. He didn't look like he had been dead for 4 years. He looked exactly the same, maybe a little grayer at the temples, but he had that same coffee stain on his sweater that he always got when he was distracted. He didn't look surprised to see me. He just put the paper down and said something like, "You're early. I thought you'd be stuck in that traffic on 4th Street. How did he know about the traffic? That's the part that keeps replaying in my head. I didn't say anything, I just started backing out of the room, and he stood up. He wasn't aggressive, he just sounded disappointed. He said, "I told them you were the only one who would notice the signature." I ran. I didn't look back. I got in my car and I drove until I hit the edge of the city. I tried to call my sister, but I couldn't bring myself to say the words out loud. What would I even say? "Hey, remember the funeral? Yeah, about that." It sounds insane even writing it now, but I know what I saw. I spent the next 3 days in a complete haze. I didn't go to work. My notifications were blowing up. Emails from HR. Texts from my roommate asking why the rent was late, but I couldn't focus on any of it. I just kept checking the claim file from my laptop. Then this morning the file changed. The photos of the water damage had been swapped out for photos of me. My living room. My kitchen. My bedroom sleeping. I started panicking. I did what anyone would do. I grabbed my go bag, my passport, and the cash I keep in the freezer for emergencies. I was halfway to the door when I saw the burner phone sitting on the entry table. It's an old model, one of those flip phones that shouldn't even work on current networks. It started buzzing. I stared at it for a full minute before I picked it up. There was no caller ID, just a text that said, "Asterisk, don't go to the airport. Look under your floorboards." Asterisk. I don't know why, but I actually did it. I pried up the loose plank by the radiator in my living room, the one I've been meaning to nail down for 6 months. There was a box underneath, a metal lockbox. Inside wasn't money or gold. It was a stack of death certificates, All of them had my father's name, but each one had a different date, a different cause of death, and a different location. One said heart failure in 2019, one said car accident in 2021, one said drowning in 2022. There were 12 of them. And then the alarms started. Not just mine, the whole building. It sounded like an emergency evacuation, but the hallway was already filling with thick, black smoke. I didn't think, I just grabbed the phone and ran out the back fire escape. That's when I heard the sirens. I'm watching the firemen now, dragging hoses into the lobby. They look so calm. They're just doing their jobs, walking into a building that I know is hiding something, or someone. I'm thinking about my dad, or the man who looks like him, and I'm wondering if he's still in there, or if he's standing in the crowd of onlookers watching the building burn, checking his watch because I'm late. I got a notification on my regular phone a second ago. It's a text from my own number. Just says, you missed a spot. I'm looking at the floorboards of my car now, specifically the spot under the mat where I keep my spare key. I haven't moved in 10 minutes. The rain is hitting the windshield so hard it sounds like static. I'm scared to look under the mat. I'm scared to start the car. I'm scared to stay here. This is going to sound insane, but I think I hear his voice. Not from the building. From the back seat. It's faint, muffled, like he's trying to talk through a wall. He's saying, "You never did like to follow the instructions, did you? I haven't turned around yet. I don't think I'm going to. If I turn around and there's no one there, I'm losing my mind. But if I turn around and he's sitting there, looking at me with that same patient, disappointing expression, I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep driving. I have about half a tank of gas. I could make it to the state line if I push it. Or I could just turn the key, look in the rearview mirror, and finally get the answer to why my father has been dying for the last 5 years. I think I'm going to reach for the keys now. My hand is hovering over the ignition. The rain is letting up. The firemen are starting to bring people out of the building on stretchers, covered in those silver blankets. None of them look like him. None of them are him. Wait, the back door. The latch just clicked. I didn't touch the locks, I swear to God I didn't touch the locks.